Mic test 1 2. Mic test 1 2.
Mic check 1 2. Audio check 1 2. Firebirds, Cavaliers. Saturday night, Eldridge Park.
Saturdays are for the birds.
Here on OFBN. Josh White, Braden Bell.
After a disappointing loss on the road on the western part of the Cape, the Orleans Firebirds return home to Eldridge Park for game number 4 against the Katuitt Kettleers. We welcome you here to Orleans, Massachusetts. Josh White alongside Braden Bell here for the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Braden, last night did not go Orleans' way, a 7-1 loss on the road against Bourne. What do you see from the Firebirds?
Yeah, it was a tough loss, no doubt about it, but we talked to a couple guys, both Kelly Nicholson and Sal Gazzo. The shortstop said on the air after that game, hey, we just got to forget about that, wipe it away. It's a loss, but luckily in baseball right here, 24 hours later, a chance to redeem yourselves and pick up a win at home. And Kelly Nicholson was open about it yesterday. Hey, we got our butts kicked. He told us that pregame during batting practice today, and only 5 hits for the Firebirds in last night's loss, none of them extra base hits, so it was a thorough beatdown, no doubt about it, but the Birds are happy to be back at home. So are we. Good to be back at Eldridge Park and a chance to redeem ourselves and try to improve to 500 again.
An absolutely gorgeous night for baseball here at Eldridge Park as the fans start to fill the hill down the right field line. And we'll look at the starting pitchers tonight for the Katuitt Kettleers. It is Luke Chevalier from Northern State, which is located in South Dakota, Braden. And for the Orleans Firebirds, it's Kevin Milam out of St. Mary's College. And Milam we've seen in the lineup a couple times for the Firebirds, but making his first appearance on the mound.
Yeah, so I'll get to Milam in a moment. We'll start with Chevalier as the young man from Northern State, originally from Cape Cod. He actually attended Sturgis Charter School in Hyannis and was a very good baseball player there, obviously, also an all-conference basketball player. Making his first start on this young season for Katuitt. And his numbers at Northern State, like you said, it's a D2 school in South Dakota. 13 appearances, 8 starts on the year for him, a 4-3 record, and a 2.52 ERA, 48 strikeouts, and 19 walks. So it'll be interesting to see how the Firebirds attack him and whether or not nerves will play a factor in his debut here as a Kettleer here at beautiful Eldridge Park. And meanwhile, on the other end, it's Kevin Milam, and like you said, he's already made a few appearances in the starting lineup, DHing for this Firebird team. He is one of the best two-way players in the country. Tonight, he'll be out there on the bump, and I talked to him yesterday during batting practice. He said he's really pumped up to pitch tonight. It's a beautiful, gorgeous night. Wind, not much of a factor. And so Milam, a young man who really is an ace of a staff at St. Mary's, 81 strikeouts and 85 and 2/3 innings pitched this season for the West Coast Conference Gales of St. Mary's. He will get the ball, and I expect to see good things from him out there, as the right-hander is very confident out there on the mound. He's used to it. We'll see whether or not he can give Kelly Nicholson and the rest of his team a good start.
The Firebirds looking for their second victory of the season, their second one trying to pick it up at home here at Eldridge Park. Orleans 1-2 this season. Katuitt just the same, 1-2 in the Western Division. Orleans in the East. And let's look ahead a little to tonight. We ran through the starting pitchers. We'll get kind of a little preview of what we have to come. Orleans obviously struggled with the bats a little bit more in the pitching variety. Katuitt just the same. What are you looking for from both of these teams tonight, Braden?
You know, for Orleans yesterday, it was just a bit, there wasn't a lot of energy in their at-bats. So I expect that to change. Of course, being at home is a good thing. And sometimes when you have a rough game, you're going to want to redeem yourself. Naturally, that's just human spirit, and I think the Firebirds didn't really like how that game played out yesterday, and I expect, everything to be a little different in terms of their at-bats and the way they approach them, and I think it all starts at the top, like we always say with Brandon White. I think he is a spark plug for this team, and, if he can reach early on, that could spark plug this team and really change the way they perform throughout the rest of the night. But I like this lineup. I think it's a very solid lineup from Kelly Nicholson, about the same as what we've been seeing early on in this season, not a whole lot of changes. So I think it's eventually going to work. It's just a matter of if, not when. Or excuse me, when, not if. I can't even speak. I'm sorry. It's going to work out, folks. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters, and we make things work here on Cape Cod. Another Stu Murrayism, if you will.
Mm-hmm. No stress on the Cape.
No stress on the Cape, of course. And as we count down a little bit to first pitch here at Eldridge Park, let's go to one of our favorite segments we have on this pregame show in Bird Sock, and it's the Bird Watch time. Braden Bell, give me one from Katuitt, one from Orleans. who's the player to watch
So,
tonight?
so a lot of pressure on me. You have been very successful in calling what players to watch so far. So I went with an easy one for Katsuit and a guy by the name of Peyton Burdick. And how about the start of the season? He's had 6 of 12 right now on the season, so 500 average. But his opening night went 4 for 4 with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs in that first game. It was a historic night for him. He is the leadoff batter for the Kettleers, and a guy the Firebirds obviously need to look out for, the leadoff man for Katsuit. And on the other end, I thought about this one. It was a very tough decision. Of course, we have 2 guys that were just activated today, both Oregon Ducks, but I decided against it, and I'm going with a man who hit a monster shot in the first home game of the season, Logan Wyatt. He's a big lefty going against a right-handed pitcher. I like Logan Wyatt to go deep yet again, or at least an extra base hit. I'm calling that Logan Wyatt's going to be great for the Firebirds tonight.
Something Orleans did not have last night was an extra base hit. You kind of talk about that spark plug that could come for the Firebirds tonight, and you mentioned the 2 recent activations for the Firebirds in Spencer Steer and Kenyon Yovan, the boys from Oregon, and Eliav Gabay, our sideline reporter, got a chance to talk to them pregame. Here's what they had to say. Great stuff from Eliav, and we'll see the impact that Spencer Steer and Kenyon Yovan have in this Orleans lineup tonight. We'll be back after a break with first pitch and the starting 9s. You're listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network.
Please give a hand to your 2018 Northern Firebirds. Okay, thank you. Now it's time to introduce tonight's national anthem performer, Ms. Gail Smink. Gail was born in Connecticut and has been singing and playing the piano since age 6. She received a music degree from the University of Connecticut School of Fine Arts and has had a distinguished singing career in numerous churches and wedding venues in Connecticut and North Carolina. Gail participated in a 10-day trip to Germany and Austria to sing in all the grand cathedrals in 2010 and participated in a chorus by invitation only, which performed in Carnegie Hall in 2013. An avid sports fan, Gail has sung the national anthem in the Greensboro Coliseum for both indoor football and hockey games. You'll all please rise and remove your hats. Ms. Gail Smink.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night. All the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Gail Smink, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Gail.
We welcome you back to Eldridge Park here in Orleans, Massachusetts for a showdown tonight against the Cotuit Kettleers. Alongside Braden Bell, I'm Josh White here for the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. We gave you the starting pitchers. Now we'll give you the starting lineups. First for the Cotuit Kettleers, the right fielder Peyton Burdick leads things off. Then Will Robertson will man first base and bat second. Batting third and playing left field is Thomas Dillard. Designated hitter Zach Bierman hits fourth. Eric Jones, the catcher, will bat fifth. Hitting sixth and playing second base is Corey Wood. Bo Brundage, the center fielder, bats seventh. Keaton Wise, the third baseman, will hit eighth. And rounding out the order for the Kettleers is the shortstop, Adam Oviedo. And Braden, we talked about Kevin Milam, the two-way player from St. Mary's College, one of the best two-way players in the country. What do you think he's going to have to do to shut down this Kettleers offense?
I really am excited to see Milam out there on the bump. Of course, like we said in the pregame, he has been a designated hitter a few times, but he's got to do what the rest of these Firebird pitchers need to do every single outing, and that's pound the strike zone early on. Get these Kettleer hitters behind in the count, and that gives you such a huge advantage as a pitcher. So we'll see what Milam can do here, starting for the Birds on a beautiful Saturday night here at Eldridge Park.
So now the bird watch of the day, in the words of Braden Bell, will dig in from the right side. First pitch from Milam to Peyton Burdick. Clips him on the jersey, and Burdick will trot down to first base on the first pitch of the ball game here at Eldridge Park at 7:03 p.m., and we're underway. But not the best start for Kevin Milam that he would have wished for.
Perhaps some nerves in there right now, and yeah, like you said, not the way you want to start if you're Milam, but now you just got to forget about it and attack the second hitter here, and Will Robertson.
Robertson, the first baseman, digs in from the left side. Swinging on the first pitch. Line drive into the glove of Wyatt. He takes it to the bag himself. 2 pitches, 2 outs. little unconventional there for Kevin Milam. But 2 down here in the top of the first.
All you can do there is laugh and shake your head if you're Kevin Milam. You nail the first guy in 1 pitch, and then you get a double play in 1 pitch. 2 pitches, 2 outs, and who knows, he could have a 3-pitch first inning here in about the weirdest way possible.
Now Thomas Dillard, the switch hitting left fielder, will dig in from the left side out of Ole Miss. First pitch from Milam to him, hit on the ground, hit through the right side and into right field. So Dillard swings at the first pitch like the 2 Kettleers prior to him, but he singles this time, and the Kettleers have a base runner with 2 away.
Little surprised Dillard swung at that pitch. You know, you don't want to have the elusive 3-pitch inning, but it must have been in a spot he feels comfortable with. And absolutely crushed that ball through the right side. It would have been a very tough play for the right side of the infield for Orleans, and it gets through. And so a wacky way to start this game for Milam. Not out of the jam yet here in the first.
First 3 batters have swung at the first pitches they've seen, and we'll see if Zach Bierman, the designated hitter, does just that. First pitch from Milam, misses low in the dirt for ball 1. Bierman, a junior out of Coastal Carolina, in 2 games so far in this young Cape Cod League season, batting .375 with an RBI. Stands at 6'3", 220 pounds, originally from West Bend, Wisconsin. 1-0 pitch from Milam, lifted down the left field line, tailing foul and onto the highway. And that'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Bierman played 2 seasons at Polk State, a junior college in Lakeland, Florida, before transferring to Coastal Carolina. Had a productive season at Coastal Carolina this past year, batting .302 with 13 round trippers. 1-1 pitch from Milam. Fastball hit out a long way into center field. Brandon White on the run in the right center field gap. And that gets down. No, he catches the baseball, in fact, out there in the right center field gap. And Brandon White takes away another base hit. And the lengthy center field out here at Eldridge Park, 434 away. And White saves the day and comes to the rescue for the Firebirds. The Kettleers scored no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 run left on base. Well, to the bottom of the first, it's the Firebirds nothing, and the Kettleers nothing. Listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Kevin Milam just needed 6 pitches to retire Katuitt in the top of the first, thanks to a miraculous catch by Brandon White, and we've learned never to doubt his speed out there in center field. Catch after catch, Brandon White lives up to the task, and we'll see what Luke Chevalier can do for the Katuitt Kettleers against this Orleans Firebirds lineup. No score heading to the bottom of the first. Josh White alongside Braden Bell. It'll be the same 5 to start the order for the Firebirds. Brandon White, Matt Frazier, Jax Groshans, Logan White, and Cardo Aldretti. James Free, the second, will do the catching duties and hit 6th. Spencer Steer making his first start in the Orleans Firebird Red will hit 7th. Kenyon Yovan, fellow Oregon Duck, will be designated hitter and bat 8th. And Ricky Martinez back in there at shortstop, rounding out the order. Here's the second pitch here to Brandon White on the outside corner, and Chevalier jumps ahead 0-2. The 0-2 pitch from Chevalier, fouled off by White, so we'll do it again at 0-2. Brandon White has done a fantastic job at the top of this Orleans Firebird lineup. He did go 0 for 3 last night, did walk, so was on base again, riding a 385 on base percentage in the early going. Chevalier steps off the rubber, and now back on. White with an open stance, the 0-2 pitch from Chevalier. Foul down the right field line, the right fielder Burdick giving chase down there, and that one skips out of play into the second row of the lawn chairs out there up the Eldridge Hill. And we'll do it again at 0-2.
No doubt about it. The hill, not quite jam-packed tonight, but the weather could not be any better, so Firebird faithful out in pretty good force here. But back to what you were referring to at the open of this inning, Brandon White's speed, never doubt him. That's something we both got to remember out there in center field. He is consistent and about as good in center field as anyone you will see in this league.
White has fought off a couple of baseballs in this at-bat, still at 0-2, and tough to see here on the right side of the field with the sun setting over the hill. The 0-2 pitch once again to White, line drive down the right field line, but just tails foul, so the fourth consecutive foul ball off the bat of Brandon White, and he's making Luke Chevalier work early.
That's exactly what you want from your leadoff hitter. Force him to throw multiple different pitches and exert as much effort into your at-bat as much as possible. Even if White doesn't get aboard here, he's done his job as a leadoff batter and will be able to report back to the rest of the hitters in this Firebird lineup what they can expect from him.
Here's the pitch from Chevalier. Line drive off the bat of White, but into the glove of the shortstop, Adam Oviedo. And that's the first out of the inning, but a fantastic at-bat by Brandon White to make Luke Chevalier work deep into that AB. So now Matt Frazier, the right fielder from Arizona, will dig in from the left side. Frazier trying to get things going. Has struggled a bit in the early going. Just 2 for his first 11. Picked up one of the 5 Firebird hits last night. Here's the first pitch to Frazier. Misses outside for ball 1. Frazier stands at 6'3", 205 pounds. Swings at the 1-0 pitch. Grounds it to the second baseman Wood, who tosses on to first in time for the second out of the frame. Chevalier, this is a dream for him growing up on Cape Cod. Grew up a Katuitt Kettleer fan, played his games at Lowell Park, and now gets a chance to represent the Katuitt Kettleers on a temporary contract at the moment.
Yeah, and that's something you don't hear about a lot. A young kid from Cape Cod getting to play in this league. That has to be a rare sequence of events, and it's pretty awesome to see.
Jax Groshans, who was the hero the first 2 nights for the Firebirds with a couple of long balls, takes a ball upstairs for ball 1. The 1-0 offering from Chevalier, grounded to the left side, gloved by the third baseman Wise, throw across the diamond in plenty of time. So another quick inning for Luke Chevalier, and we'll head to the top of the second. No score between the Kettleers and the Firebirds. Listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. The wacky start to this game continues here at Eldridge Park. We'll take a scoreless ball game into the top of the second, but a new pitcher for the Orleans Firebirds in Elijah Herrick making his Orleans Firebirds debut. And we sent Eliav Gabay, our ace sideline reporter, to solve the case exactly what was up with Kevin Milam after being pulled after an inning. Milam looked very strong out there. Lifted after just an inning, and Elijah Herrick, who was actually in a Katuitt Kettleer uniform a couple weeks ago as an exhibition pitcher, will take the mound for the Firebirds.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how Herrick responds. They're going to let him fully warm up since it was kind of a surprise deal. Milam was pulled with what we're being told by our ace sideline reporter, Eliav Gabay, with a bit of back spasms, and that is the issue with Milam. So hopefully Kevin is all right, but they pull him out after an inning of work. So it's going to be a bullpen game now for the Firebirds, and Kelly Nicholson hasn't made any of his starters go deep, so a lot of the arms in the Firebird bullpen have gotten a lot of action here early on, and it's going to be that way again. They're going to have to try to find a way to record 24 outs tonight. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but that all starts with Elijah Herrick to try to get the job done for the Birds in the second inning here.
Elijah Herrick, a rising junior committed to Duke University, spent his past 2 seasons at Bellevue Junior College, about 15 minutes east of Seattle and Washington. Made 8 appearances this past season with 1 start. Did not allow an earned run the entire season, had a whip of .67, 14.7 Ks per 9 held. Opponents just a 110 batting average again, so he's as good as they come on the mound, and there's a reason why he's going to the ACC to play for the Duke Blue Devils, and he'll take on a tough task here of being the quote-unquote new starting pitcher, if you will, for the Firebirds. They'll face 5, 6, and 7 for the Kettleers in the inning, and Eric Jones, Corey Wood, and Bo Brundage.
Nothing like being tossed into the fire for your first appearance in Cape Cod. Maybe you expect a 5th, 6th inning. Maybe I could get in. No. Second inning, no score. Sun's still shining early in this game, and you're being thrown in there, so it'll be interesting to see how Herrick responds to kind of a unexpected sequence of events. As he's still warming up, they're giving him unlimited time to throw because of the injury and the switch here, so he's taking his sweet time and making sure he's all tuned in before we get going here.
And again, it's not the first time we've seen a player lifted for precautionary reasons after a slight injury. We saw it last night for the Firebirds. Justin Levy took a fastball off the forearm. He remained in the game for a couple innings, then was lifted in the 5th. He's out of the lineup tonight, a little sore there, so the Firebirds being a little cautious here in the early goings of this season. No need to rush any players that are maybe banged up a little bit. So I like the move by Kelly Nicholson to lift Milam if there was anything going on with his back.
Oh, absolutely. It's not worth it at this point. If you feel anything, you pull him out of the game. I mean, there's bigger things than, Game 4 of a 44-game gauntlet, and even more importantly, this is just summer baseball. These guys have college teams to go back to and futures in professional baseball as well. The last thing Kelly Nicholson or any of these managers in this league wants to do is push someone when they're a bit dinged up and turn it into a severe injury. So a no-brainer, and Kelly Nicholson would make that decision 10 times out of 10, no doubt about it.
So now we are back underway here at Eldridge Park to start the top of the second inning. No score between the Kettleers and the Firebirds. Elijah Herrick, the new pitcher in the ballgame, wheels and deals. First pitch to Eric Jones. Fastball on the outside corner, first strike 1. Jones, the junior from Davidson College, batting 2 for 10 to start his Cape Cod League campaign. Now he calls timeout. Nice maroon-colored jerseys for the Kettleers with pinstripe pants. Jones rocking the high socks tonight for Katuitt. Herrick ahead of him 0-1, kicks and fires the 0-1 pitch, a nasty breaking ball that Jones chases. That'll make it 0-2.
Yeah, 2 straight breaking balls to start off the appearance here for Herrick. Both have been straight nasty pitches. It'll be interesting to see if he can go ahead and close out Jones right here.
0-2 pitch from Herrick. Slow roller to the third base side, foul, and that'll kick towards the Katuitt dugout, and we'll do it again at 0-2.
And if you're Herrick, you love the position you're in right now. Even on that foul tip, you could tell that Jones was not comfortable, not knowing what pitch is coming. You're ahead 0-2. You could throw anything right here.
The 0-2 pitch from Herrick pops up in front of the plate. The catcher, James Free, tossed the mask. Now Spencer Steele, the third baseman, comes in. Right on the line down that third base side, a couple steps in front of the mound, and makes the grab for the first out of the inning.
Well, I know it's only been 1 batter so far, but Elijah Herrick looking comfortable out there early on. But the way he handled that bat against a good hitter like Eric Jones made it look easy, and pounding the strike zone is absolutely something you want to see if you're Kelly Nicholson. Getting depth out of at least a couple of these relievers so far, or for the rest of the night, I should say, is absolutely paramount if the Birds want to pick up a win tonight.
Herrick's first pitch to Corey Wood, who digs in from the left side, misses outside for ball one. Wood, the rising junior from Coastal Carolina, one of 3 Coastal Carolina products in the lineup tonight for Mike Roberts and the Katuitt Kettleers. 1-0 pitch from Herrick, a fastball that misses upstairs, and he falls behind 2-0. Not able to find too much information in terms of velocity in that regard to Elijah Herrick. Had his numbers out of high school. Really not an overpowering fastball from the right-hander. The 2-0 pitch from Herrick. Another fastball that misses low and inside. And he falls behind 3 balls and no strikes. Really saw that fastball around 81, 82, but a lot can change heading to the junior college level for a couple of seasons. 3-0 pitch from Herrick, a get-me-over fastball that's in there for a strike, and then I'll make it 3 balls and 1 strike to the batter, Corey Wood. Wood still looking for that first hit in the Cape Cod campaign. 3-1 pitch, another breaker from Herrick that backstores Wood, and that'll even up the count, or pardon me, run the count full at 3-2. No score here in the top of the second between the Katuitt Kettleers and the Orleans Firebirds. Herrick shakes off free, now comes set, wheels and deals the payoff pitch. Hard ground to the left side, gloved by the third baseman Steer. Throw across the diamond in time for the second out of the inning.
And a great play there over there by Spencer Steer to take his time, relax, take a step back, and play the candy hop off the lip of the grass over there at third base and make a strike over to Logan White just in time to get the speedy Corey Wood. 2 up, 2 down, and a nice start for Elijah Herrick.
Now, Bo Brundage, another left-handed hitting bat in this lineup for the Kettleers, will dig in. Brundage, pretty beanpole of a kid, 6'4", $190, out of Buford, Georgia. First pitch to him, a fastball right down the chute for strike 1. Brundage still looking for his first hit as well in his early season. No for his first day. Has scored a run, however. 0-1 pitch from Herrick. Check swing from Brundage. Appeal down to the third base umpire, Douglas Eshaw. Said he did not go, so that'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. While we have a minute, let's give you the umpires. Sam Finn behind the dish, Edward Mackinnon at first base, and Douglas Eshaw at third. Brundage attends Portland University. On the 1-1 pitch from Herrick, another breaking ball that he can't get Brundage to bite on, and that'll make it 2-1. Brundage batting .378 this past season at Portland. Takes the 2-1 pitch from Herrick, chops it in front of the mound. Herrick gets off the mound on the first base side, tosses to wide over there. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Elijah Herrick out of the bullpen, and he's looked sharp for the Firebirds in his debut. And we'll head to the bottom of the second here at Eldridge Park. It's Katuitt nothing and Orleans nothing, listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. No score as we head to the bottom of the second here at Eldridge Park between the Katuitt Kettleers and the Orleans Firebirds. Josh White alongside Braden Bell here for the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for Orleans. Logan White, Carter Aldretti, and James Free going to try and crack Luke Chevalier, who looked stupendous in the top of the first, or I should say the bottom of the first. First pitch to White here to start inning number 2. Misses inside for ball 1. Logan White, your bird watch of the day, Braden, out of the University of Louisville. The 1-0 pitch to him misses outside, and Chevalier falls behind 2-0.
Wyatt already made a couple good defensive plays, but we normally look at the hitting aspect for our bird watch, and I expect Logan to come through here tonight. He looks very comfortable in the batter's box, as he always does.
2-1 pitch here to Wyatt, a breaking ball that misses outside. A nice hitter's count here for Logan at 3-1. Just 1 for 8 to start the Cape Cod campaign. That one being a long moon shot to right center field on the home opener. The 3-1 pitch to Wyatt, chopped down the right field line, and that'll kick out of play. And that'll run the count full at 3-2. Wyatt went 0 for 3 last night. Did score a run, the lone run for the Firebirds, after he drew a walk in the late innings of that ball game. Chevalier gets back on the rubber, stares in for his sign for the catcher, Jones. Wheels and deals the payoff pitch to Wyatt. Line drive down the left field line, tailing foul. And that'll skip out of play once again, so we'll do it again at 3-2.
Wyatt, a good battle here, and what I love about Logan Wyatt is he has power and he can go foul pole to foul pole. That's what makes him so dangerous. Everyone in the outfield has to be aware.
Payoff pitch to Wyatt, fastball fouled back to the screen in our direction, and we'll do it again at 3-2. A little bit of a flimsy screen here at Eldridge Park on occasion. Some slack down this third base side.
It adds character, if nothing else. It's fine. We're safe. Don't worry.
Here's the payoff pitch once against to Wyatt. Breaking ball on the outside corner, and Wyatt goes down looking on the curveball from Chevalier for the first out of the bottom of the second.
That was a tough pitch there. Logan Wyatt didn't agree with the call on the outside part of the plate, but we've noticed that trend here early on. The home plate umpires here in this league, they are very friendly to pitchers. A large strike zone here early on. We saw it last night, and it looks like it might be that same way here tonight.
It's now Carter Aldretti, who had the lone RBI last night, digs in from the right side. First pitch from Chevalier in there for a strike. Aldretti 1 for 4 last night with that RBI single. The 0-1 pitch to Aldretti, a big hack and a miss on the breaker, and he falls behind 0-2 now. Carter 3 for 11 to start his Cape Cod campaign. Has 3 RBIs, however, through the first 3 games. 0-2 pitch to Carter, hit a long way out to left center field. The left fielder Dillard ranging back, he's at the track, and this one caroms off the fence. Aldretti digging for second base, he's in easily standing up. It's a 1-out double for Carter Aldretti here in the bottom of the second.
Just missed that one. The fence out here at Eldridge not very tall, and he hit the very top of it right by the 350 sign in left field, so barely by about a foot or so missing a home run. Instead, it's just a long double. Aldretti and the Birds will obviously still take it, and a golden opportunity here for the Firebirds with 1 away in the bottom of the second to try to get on the scoreboard first.
Got a good chance to do that with James Free at the dish, the switch hitting catcher out of Pacific. Free 0 for 8 to start his Cape Cod campaign, but practically every ball he's hit so far this season has been a hard ball that just into the wrong spot. Chevalier going to work into the stretch for the first time tonight. Kicks and fires. First pitch to Free, a backdoor breaking ball in there for a strike. Free 0 for 4 last night on the road at Bourne with a strikeout. Making the start behind the dish tonight, Jax Groshans, we've seen behind the plate as well, manning left field for Kelly Nicholson and the Firebirds. Chevalier taking his time out there on the mound. Now going to call the catcher Eric Jones to talk things over. And we've talked about the learning process and the communication process in the early parts of the Cape Cod League season. Players from all across the country playing together for the first time.
Yeah, it's definitely a process, definitely a change. You're used to your regular catcher or vice versa, your pitching staff back at your respective colleges, and that all changed suddenly. Of course, there's going to be some time where you need to feel each other out.
The 0-1 pitch to Free, a fastball that just misses outside, and that will even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Free, 6'2", 215-pound catcher, originally from Walnut, California. 2018 West Coast Conference honorable mention this past season at Pacific. Aldretti leads off second. The 1-1 pitch to Free. Hit out to shallow left center field. The center fielder Brundage ranging over in the left center field gap and makes the catch. Aldretti trots back to second base. And there's now 2 away here in the bottom of the second.
That ball hung up in the air for what seems to be an hour. I mean, that was plenty of time over there for Brundage and Dillard to communicate, talk about how their day is going, and then make the catch. As James Free just missed it, like you said, that's been the story of his season so far. But now, welcome to Orleans, Spencer Steer, his first at-bat as a Bird.
The Oregon Duck, who arrived a couple days ago, activated today, and he makes his first appearance as a Firebird and takes the first pitch from Chevalier outside. That batting stance looks familiar. It's very reminiscent of Josh Donaldson on the Toronto Blue Jays. Spencer Steer growing up watching a lot of Josh Donaldson, wearing the same number, in fact, as well. 1-0 pitch to Steer. Check swing. He went around, but it was in there for a strike anyway, and that'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
The Firebirds would love if he is like half the player of Josh Donaldson, no doubt about it. What a talent he is in Toronto.
Andretti leads off second base after the 1-out double. The 1-1 pitch to Steer hit a long way out to deep left field. Dillard ranging back, looks up, and it's gone. A 2-run home run off the bat of Spencer Steer. Welcome to Orleans, fella. That's a 2-run shot in his first AB as a Orleans Firebird.
Hello, that's a big-time homer. Welcome to Orleans. Like you said, Josh, pounding that breaking ball over the left field fence, and that's how you make your name known early on. With a big-time 2-run homer, 2-0 Orleans.
We spoke about how this Orleans lineup could use a little bit of a spark after last night, and Spencer Steer has provided that in inning number 2 as the Firebirds control this game early 2-0. And boy, is Kelly Nicholson happy the Oregon Duck has arrived in Orleans. And now the first pitch to another Oregon Duck, and Kenyon Jovan catches the zone for strike 1. Jovan, a two-way player, just like Kevin Milam, who started the game tonight for the Firebirds. This one misses inside, and that'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And that home run's also just so big. You're now looking at a bullpen game. Your starter was pulled after 1 inning due to an injury, and so to get a 2-spot up there in front of your opponent is just huge for the pitching staff as well. We'll see what Kenyon Jovan can do here. Behind 1-2 in the count.
Jovan selected to play for the 2018 USA Baseball Collegiate National Team. They start play on June 28th, so he'll stay in Orleans till about just then. The 1-2 pitch here to Jovan misses inside, and that will even up the count at 2-2. And he's not necessarily gone for the entire summer. That play ends around mid-July, so could potentially come back to the Firebirds. 2-2 pitch to Jovan, a breaking ball that he fights off. So we'll do it again at 2-2.
And I will say, of course, from Oregon, everyone knows about their uniforms and all the gear they have from Phil Knight, an Oregon alum. He is the early leader in the best cleats on this team. It's a chrome look. Nike, of course. Chrome and red. It's good looking, no doubt about it.
2-2 pitch once again to Jovan, hit out to deep right field, but Burdick has plenty of space, fights the wind, and makes the catch on the run. But the Firebirds strike first on a 2-run blast off the bat of Spencer Steer. As we head to the top of the 3rd inning, it's Orleans 2, Anchor 2-0. Listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Eldridge Park. The Orleans Firebirds lead the Katuitt Kettleers 2-0 thanks to a 2-run shot off the bat of Spencer Steer. Josh White alongside Braden Bell here for the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. It'll be 8-9-1 here for the Kettleers. Keaton Wise, Adam Oviedo, and Peyton Burdick set to face Elijah Herrick, who did a fantastic job out of the bullpen, setting down the Kettleers in order.
Yeah, he looked very strong out there, and it was his off-speed stuff that he was comfortable with in the first, and we see that there on the first pitch of his 2nd inning of relief. That's his bread and butter. Don't expect him to change that all night long.
0-1 offering here from Herrick. Another breaking ball that catches the low part of the zone, and he jumps ahead 0-2. And we know Kelly Nicholson, as good as they come in terms of pitching, have led the Cape 7 times under his tenure. The 0-2 pitch from Herrick, another breaker. That Wise taps back foul, so we'll do it again at 0-2. But Elijah Herrick, you could see, is built from the same breed.
Oh, yeah, he's meant to be here in Orleans without a doubt, and he's not a guy that's going to blow it past you with a fastball. It's all off-speed stuff, and that's a good thing sometimes.
The 0-2 pitch, slow roller, gloved by Herrick. Going to be a tough play off the mound, and Wise beats it out. Herrick had a tough time corralling that baseball on the third base side of the pitcher's mound, and we'll see how that one's scored. But I would imagine that
It's a
will
hit.
probably be an infield hit.
Yep, it is a
for
single
Keaton Wise.
indeed. A tough play. I mean, no doubt about it. You have to range over, run to the right, and then throw back across your body. Even if it would have been fielded cleanly, it would have been tough against Wise, a guy who can run pretty quickly. But with the bobble, made it near impossible.
So Keaton Wise reaches with an infield single to lead things off here in the top of the third. Herrick working out of the stretch, kicks and fires. First pitch to Oviedo, a breaking ball in the dirt. But Oviedo can't hold up, and he goes around for strike one. Oviedo, the freshman out of TCU, still looking for his first hit of the Cape Cod League campaign. Just batting .228 this season with no home runs and 25 RBIs at TCU. So Elijah Herrick has a candidate potentially for a double play.
We already saw one double play the Birds turned early in this one, the second pitch of the game, and Herrick would love to make it a deuce for double plays early in this one.
Firebirds lead the Cavaliers here in the early going. Pitch upstairs, throw down from Free, trying to back pick the runner Wise, not in time. And that will even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Good throw there from Free. The second, though, just keeping an eye on Wise, and you better believe that's going to be talked about in the Katuitt dugout, that the backstop for the Firebirds has a cannon.
Wise leads off first. The 1-1 pitch from Herrick, a breaking ball up in the zone that Oviedo fans through. And now Herrick jumps ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And seeing a lot of breaking stuff from Elijah Herrick here in the early going, and it's working.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what the old saying is, and it's looked very strong so far, so he's going to stick with it as long as he possibly can.
Herrick comes set, holds his hands close to the head. The 1-2 pitch, hard line drive down the left field line, tailing foul. And that ball does kick out of play. Elijah Herrick takes a sigh of relief, and we'll do it again at 1-2.
Yeah, that would have been extra bases. Probably would have scored a run, as Wise, who stands at first base, got a great jump, went on contact, and that ball just went foul down the left field line. So great way to say it, Josh. A sigh of relief indeed.
So Herrick gets back on the rubber, stares in for his sign from Free, I beg your pardon, out of the hitter Adam Oviedo. The 1-2 pitch from the right-hander. Soft line drive off the bat of Oviedo, and Logan Wyatt up to the task just near that first base coach's box and makes the grab for the first out of the inning.
Logan Wyatt's been a very busy man here early in this game. Birds yet to strike out any Cavaliers in this ball game so far, and so a lot of action for Wyatt over there at first base. He's handled himself perfectly so far.
It's now Peyton Burdick who led things off, being hit by the first pitch of tonight's ball game by Kevin Milam. Was doubled off on the line drive off the bat of Will Robertson. Swings at the first pitch here from Herrick, lines it out to center field, and Brandon White with the wheels comes charging in and makes the grab. A couple steps in front of the infield dirt for the second out of the frame.
Brandon White making it look easy, and that was not quite an easy play, having to read that ball off the bat and immediately move because it was a sinking fly ball. But we are blessed here at Orleans to have a guy like Brandon White in center field making it look easy.
We've been trying to come up with a nickname for him.
It'll come with time.
We thought of the Flash as a potential candidate. First pitch here from Herrick to the batter Robertson, a breaking ball that misses off the plate for ball 1. Robertson swung at the first pitch in his first AB, that hard line drive into the glove of Logan Wyatt, who stepped on the bag. There's also a vacuum out there, obviously not the stature of a vacuum. The 1-0 pitch lifted out to left center field. White on the runs. Groshun's converging. And that ball is gone. A 2-run round tripper for Will Robertson. And that ties the ball game up. And just as we thought Orleans had a nice comfortable lead here in the third inning, Robertson ties the tally with a 2-run shot over the left center field fence.
Opposite field power that time from Robertson, getting it done off the netting just over the wall in left field. Very similar to the spot where Steer's home run landed, and like you said, a 2-0 lead for the Birds, gone in just one swing of the bats. And Katuitt, never a team that goes away easily historically. That looks like it's going to be the case here tonight.
So now the number 3 hitter, Thomas Diller, digs in from the left side once again. First pitch to him, a breaking ball from Herrick on the outside corner. Herrick not shying away from throwing that off-speed stuff. Got caught with leaving one up in the zone to Robertson, who sent an Opozako the other way. The 0-1 pitch lifted out to center field. Brandon White calls off Groshans in the left center field gap and makes the grab. But the Katuitt Kettleers rebound with 2 runs off the bat of Will Robertson. They score 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors and nobody left on base. We'll head to the bottom of inning number 3. It's Katuitt 2 and Orleans 2. You're listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. To the bottom of inning number 3 we go here at Eldridge Park. It's the Katuitt Kettleers 2 and the Orleans Firebirds 2. Josh White alongside Braden Bell, and it'll be 9-1-2 for the Firebirds. Ricky Martinez, Brandon White, and Matt Frazier, 9-1-2, set to face Luke Chevalier. The first pitch to Martinez in there for a strike. Martinez going to be spending his next fall at Tennessee. The 0-1 pitch to him. Hard line drive, lifted down the right field line, foul, and Chevalier jumps ahead 0-2. Spent the past 2 seasons at the past season at the junior college level in Grayson Junior College in Texas. The 0-2 pitch to Martinez. Check swing. He went around since the home plate umpire, Sam Finney, held up. That gave Eric Jones plenty of time to toss it down to Robertson at first base. And there's 1 away on 3 pitches here to start the bottom of the 3rd.
Martinez has struggled at the dish so far in his early season. He is now 0 for 4 and now 4 strikeouts. Excuse me, 0 for 5 on the year now with 4 strikeouts. So Martinez can only go up from here.
So Brandon White, who made that spectacular catch in center field in the first inning, digs in from the right side. Takes a first pitch fastball in there for a strike. Taking again on the second pitch here from Chevalier, and that's on the outside corner. So White now behind 0-2. Chevalier working quickly, wheels and deals. The 0-2 pitch to White misses low in the dirt, and then he'll make it 1-2. White 0 for 1 tonight, now 3 for 12, and even 250 on the season. 1-2 pitch to White, fastball that makes him dance out of the way, and that'll even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. White open stance in the box. Chevalier kicks and fires. 2-2 pitch. Nasty breaking ball on the outside corner, and White goes down looking for the second out of the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts for Luke Chevalier.
And Chevalier, you can kind of tell his confidence just growing after getting some run support back. Got dinged up for that 2-run homer last inning, but when your team responds and gets them right back for you, that allows you to settle back down, and that's exactly what he's done here in this inning.
Snap. Now Matt Frazier will dig in from the left side. First pitch to him in there for a strike. Chevalier throwing tons of strikes coming out here in the 3rd inning. The 0-1 pitch to Frazier. Slow roller that the first baseman Will Robertson will handle. Underhand toss to the pitcher Chevalier in time. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Luke Chevalier. We'll head to the top of the 4th. Braden Bell taking over the play-by-play duties. It's Katuitt 2 and Orleans 2. You're listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network.
Time for the top of the fourth inning here from beautiful Eldridge Park. Braden Bell, Josh White on the call for you. 2-2 score as we're through 3 innings complete between the Firebirds and the Cotuit Kettleers on a Saturday night. 74 degrees, just a slight breeze, the best weather we've had so far in this young season. And a picture-perfect evening for baseball as Elijah Herrick back out there for his 3rd inning of work and misses low for ball 1. To the cleanup hitter for the Kettleers, Zach Bierman, young man from Coastal Carolina. And here comes the 1-0 pitch swinging, and it will go up the middle, fielded by Martinez behind the bag in time over to first base. Looked like it might have cracked the bat of Bierman for out number 1 with a nasty off-speed pitch yet again from Herrick.
Yeah, Herrick using that breaking ball time and time again. He almost made the play, in fact, too, off the bat of Bierman, just past the outstretched arm of him, and that kicked up the middle, and the infield shifted a little bit for the Firebirds on that one, and you had the shortstop more up the middle and right in position to field that ground ball.
It'll be Eric Jones now for the Kettleers digging in to take on Herrick and those nasty breaking balls that we've seen so far through 2 1/3 innings of relief from him. And the first pitch, another breaking ball just misses outside. It's 1-0. Eric Jones from Davidson, like I said, a Charlotte, North Carolina native, so staying in the beautiful state of North Carolina for college, and an aggressive leg kick on that stance, and looking at ball 2, just missed high apparently. Jones, a lineage of baseball success. His grandpa, Bob Jones, played professional baseball for the San Francisco Giants. As the 2-0 pitch loops high above the head of Jones, and he's way ahead in the count. It's 3 balls and no strikes. And you see that a lot, especially with players in this league. It runs in the family. It truly does, whether it's the grandparents or the dads. You see a lot of baseball success as Jones looks at a 4-pitch walk that ran high, and that'll draw James Free II out there to talk to his man Elijah Herrick to try to calm him down here with 1 away.
Yeah, Elijah Herrick, for whatever reason, against Eric Jones right there, just couldn't find the strike zone, was commanding it very well across the first 3 frames, but just lost it there against Jones, and James Free doing a nice thing, trying to calm his pitcher down. Just tell him, make your pitches, let the defense behind you go to work.
So the first walk issued on the evening so far for Orleans comes with 1 away, and the runner will go. Throw by Free is in time. The tag is down. He got it. A strike of a throw from James Free II in time for the out, and the walk is erased just like that. We saw the pickoff throw last inning that was impressive from James Free II. That one equally is impressive right there for out number 2 of the inning.
Fantastic throw from James Free, right on the money, beat the runner by a couple of steps, and Elijah Herrick can now take a deep breath. The runner off the board can work out of the windup.
So Corey Wood now will bat with nobody on. He's ahead in the count 2-0, so 6 straight balls thrown by Herrick. And here comes the 2-0 pitch that'll miss yet again, so make it now 7 straight balls from Elijah Herrick, and you would assume Corey Wood has no intentions on swinging here after seeing the struggles recently of Herrick. Here comes the 3-0. It misses high, and it is the 2nd straight 4-pitch walk for Elijah Herrick. He will settle down and try to regather himself with 2 away here in the 4th.
Yeah, usually at this point could be coming the next batter if Herrick can't retire Brundage here. And you'll get a visit from the pitching coach very shortly, and again, like we talk about time and time again, Orleans known for their pitching. Jamie Quinn and Kelly Nicholson do a fantastic job in that first base dugout with their pitching staff, so they'll be able to get Herrick figured out.
Now it's Bo Brundage, an aggressive lead over there at first for Corey Wood, by the way. It's finally a strike delivered after 8 straight balls, so Herrick finally dots the zone again after a short hiatus, and Bo Brundage is the batter for Cotuit. Brundage swings away, fouls it off in front of the Orleans dugout, and the count now 0-2. Bo Brundage, a Portland pilot. So from the Pacific Northwest all the way over to Cape Cod, across the country for his summer. Originally from Buford, Georgia, so he's been all over the country. And he looks at the 0-2 pitch that runs just outside. Still alive in the count, it's 1-2.
And the only disadvantage of throwing this many breaking balls, you give the runners a chance to go on a softer pitching. Corey Wood trying to time up that jump over there at first base to get a good lead.
Does not go this time. It's going to be a base hit through the left side past Spencer Steer. It's a 2-out single, and the Kettleers have the go-ahead run in scoring position here in the 4th inning after a solid piece of hitting from Bo Brundage.
A little too much pace off that bat from Bo Brundage. That was line drive past the outstretched arm of Spencer Steer. And here's that pitching mound visit I was talking about from Jamie Quinn. He's going to try and settle down his right-hander again. Tough situation for Herrick. Probably did not expect to pitch at all before the 4th inning at the very earliest, and comes in to start inning number 2. He's got to settle the nerves a little bit. Gave up that 2-run home run an inning ago, but he's 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning if he can just let his defense behind him do the work.
And I'm sure that's what Jamie Quinn is preaching, talking to the pitcher-catcher battery right now on the mat, as you can see if you're watching our stream on YouTube Live, or if you're listening on Mixler, you can hear me describe it. Either way, we've got you covered from Eldridge Park. All 22 home games this season. It'll be Keaton Wise, the batter for Kitsui, as home plate umpire Sam Finn will walk out there and break up the social gathering on the mound. So we're trying to resume play here. It's a 2-2 game. Kitsui with 4 hits so far, Orleans with just 2. And it'll be Wise, the 3rd different Chanticleer of Coastal Carolina in this lineup. 5'9", 160, originally from La Jolla, California. Started his career at Auburn. In his freshman year, only played in 7 games, 3 starts and 11 plate appearances. He said goodbye to Auburn and hello to Coastal Carolina. He'll be batting here with 2 away. Herrick, after the mound visit, will toe the rubber out of the stretch and try to see if he can work through his 3rd inning of relief. Of course, Kevin Milam, the starter, was pulled after 1, and the first pitch runs inside and will get Wise on the back. So it's a little bit of a jam, turns into a lot of stress for Herrick, and the bases are now loaded with 2 away.
And the Firebirds with some action in their bullpen. It looks like it's Cade Meckles working out there, trying to get loose pretty quickly. So Meckles, who we saw a few games back, would be the next man up for Kelly Nicholson and Jamie Quinn.
Adam Oviedo with a golden opportunity. The number 9 hitter looks at strike 1. We'll see whether or not the TCU Horned Frog, Oviedo, playing shortstop, lined out to Logan White and foul ground his first at bat. Infield playing back right now, and they're going to call a balk, is what I heard at least from home plate umpire. Maybe not.
Mike Roberts once won, the head coach for the Kitsui Cavaliers, coaching 3rd, and he's coming down to have a word with Sam Finn, arguing that it was a balk. Now, we saw the runner on 3rd base, Corey Wood, take a very aggressive lead at first, a very aggressive lead at 2nd, trying to do the same thing at 3rd, trying to rattle Elijah Herrick, and Mike Roberts not happy that Sam Finn did not award each runner 90 feet.
So the Birds catch a break. I thought I had heard balk, and Kitsui also thought it was a balk, but apparently not. And Herrick with new life. So it's a very aggressive lead over their 3rd base by Wood, and instead it's going to be a high fly ball to left field, ranging over to the foul corner and just foul. They're going to call it a home run. Oh, no. Wow, they call it a home run, and it is a grand slam for Adam Oviedo, and Kelly Nicholson can't believe it. That ball looked clearly foul left of the pole, and home plate umpire Sam Finn calls it a home run, and that is a huge call. And now the Cavaliers lead 6-2 off of the grand slam from Oviedo. I am shocked they called that a home run, and Kelly Nicholson is irate right now.
Yeah, that entire dugout irate. They're flabbergasted over there on that first base side. That looked like that was a few feet foul, not even like it was close and nicked the foul pole or anything like that. Kelly Nicholson, a very calm guy, very tame out there. He's showing Sam Finn a piece of his mind and pointing down there. And Finn, very respectful at the moment of Kelly Nicholson. Obviously, Kelly Nicholson, one of the most respected managers on Cape Cod. But Nicholson voicing his opinion, and Firebird defense in disbelief as well. And Nicholson not going away just yet. He wants every penny worth of this argument. And you heard Jamie Quinn get into it a little bit as well from the Firebird dugout.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. It was just a missed call. Kelly Nicholson not happy. That's a huge play in a baseball game. It's not just a base hit or a strikeout. This is a grand slam on the board. Jax Groshans was the left fielder out there. He can't believe the call either. It's a game-changing call that goes Katuit's way. And you can hear the fans here at Eldridge Park in disbelief.
And the boos raining down, and Kelly Nicholson, we'll give you the PG version. It was not a good call. He was not happy with Sam Finn's decision to say that ball landed fair, and now Nicholson will lift Elijah Herrick after what looked like Herrick would remain in the ball game and try and record the final strike on the batter Oviedo, but it's Oviedo who has the last laugh after the grand slam.
Tough luck for Elijah Herrick in his Orleans Firebirds debut. A very controversial call, to say the least, has given Katuit a 6-2 lead here in the top of the fourth inning. We will be back to introduce you to the new Firebird on the mound coming up next on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. We're back at Eldridge Park, where the scene is still tense, to say the least. It's now 6-2 Katuit after a botched call from home plate umpire Sam Finn. It's called a grand slam, and as big of a call as you can make in baseball goes the way of the Kettleers. And now it's 6 unanswered runs here early in this game, and the Birds will have to rally once again after the grand slam from the number 9 hitter. A gut punch, to say the least, to the Firebirds as Kevin Kelly takes over on the mound for the Firebirds.
And a gut punch for Elijah Herrick making his Orleans debut. And again, this is obviously a league for development, a league for players to show their talents, the scouts. And I mean, if a scout couldn't catch the game tonight, they look at the line and they think Elijah Herrick did not do a good job. And the story's different. You know, he gave up 2 runs, made 1 bad pitch. Other than that, was sensational. And now Kevin Kelly will take over the duties for the Firebirds.
So 2 2/3 of relief for Elijah Herrick, and that'll bring up the top of the lineup once again in Peyton Burdick, who will come back up. He is 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch to start this game. And a really tough break for Orleans is a breaking ball nasty pitch from Kelly. Gets Burdick to chase, and it is 0-2. Kelly Nicholson, I mean, he's just not happy. You know, said be professional, and we've heard many other comments from Firebird fans all around the field. Just a tough break, but the Birds are going to have to try to persevere. Now down by 4 runs. Still a long ways to go in this one, though, folks. Just in the top of the 4th inning. 1-2 the count. Kelly delivers. Strike 3 called. And nobody happy with home plate umpire Sam Finn right now. And that will end the inning, but not before major damage done. A grand slam and a heap of controversy off the bat of Adam Oviedo, and it's 6-2 Katuit after We'll head to the bottom of the fourth inning, coming up next on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. We're back at Eldridge Park. 6-2 the score. Catuit leads Orleans, and after a whole bunch of controversy last half inning, the Birds will try to get going on offense. It'll be Jax Groshans to lead things off for the Firebirds, and Groshans so far tonight is 0 for 1. Grounded out to third base at his first plate appearance. Tried to spark plug a rally. Orleans can't feel good about the situation they're in right now, but it is what it is, and at the end of the day, you got to just keep playing baseball.
Yeah, that's what it is. We heard from Sal Gaza, just got to just move on, see the next day, move on to the next page, if you will, and that's what the Firebirds need to do just here. And we'll give you the final line on Elijah Herrick. He went 2 2/3, got tagged for 4 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned, 2 walks, no Ks.
So a tough night, but like you said, the numbers do not show the true story on that grand slam. Very tough luck for Herrick. Meanwhile, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Groshans looks at ball 3 low and has worked the count full. To the Orleans left fielder, who will also be doing a lot of catching for the Firebirds this summer. The only returning Firebird right now, at least, as Groshans bounces that ball to second base, bobbled by the second baseman, in time still to make the play. As it was hit so sharply, it allowed Wood to bobble the ball for a moment and still have time to regain himself and throw out Groshans for out number 1.
You're talking about kind of the defensive positioning of Jax Groshans, and like you mentioned, he's in left field tonight. He'll most likely play catcher the majority of the summer. Could switch off with James Free the second, Philip Clark, one of the Vandy boys expected here in the Orleans Reds. So see a lot of Groshans at catcher as well as third, and on occasion in the outfield as well.
So now it's Logan Wyatt, the Bird to watch tonight on offense. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking back at the second inning. He'll try to get something going for the Birds and foul it off above the Orleans dugout. And the count is 2-1. Logan Wyatt, how about the start he had to the NCAA tournament this year against Kent State on June 1st? 2 for 4 with a grand slam in the first inning. And then his next at-bat in the second inning, a 3-run homer. 7 RBIs in that game. A school record in RBIs for the NCAA tournament, and he's ahead 3-1 at the count right here, and the pitch is low and in the dirt for ball 4. So Logan Wyatt on base for the first time here tonight, and the Birds have a base runner with 1 away in the home half of the fourth inning, trailing 6-2.
Just the third base runner of the night so far for the Firebirds. Obviously, they had that double by Carter Aldretti. Got the rally going a little bit, then Spencer Steer teared off for that 2-run homer, and now just the third base runner of the night, and Carter Aldretti going to try and move the line. We talked about that a lot last night when the Birds were down big, just little piece at a time.
Aldretti will look at strike 1 in there. He doubled off the wall, missed a home run by about a foot in his first at bat out there in left center field at about the 350 sign here at Eldridge Park. We'll look to reach base again right here with 1 away. Comes set. Ground ball to the shortstop. They'll look to turn 2. In time at second base. In time at first base. It's an inning-ending double play. And the Kettleers rolling right now. They lead the Firebirds 6-2 after 4 innings. So a classic 6-4-3 double play to end the fourth inning. Our very own Eliav Gabai will be with manager Kelly Nicholson of the Orleans Firebirds in just a moment, so we'll stay with you. No break this half inning. Be interesting to see what Skip says. A lot has already happened in this game, obviously, with the injury to Milam and then the controversial call from home plate umpire Sam Finn that has changed the outlook of this game. Eliav goodbye with Kelly Nicholson in just a moment. We'll send it down to Eliav with Skip in just a moment. 6-2 the score between the Kettleers and the Firebirds. And off to Eliav.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Skip, Kelly Nicholson. All right, Kelly, first of all, how's Milam?
Well, his back tightened up a little bit, and that's why he had to come out. So we'll have to evaluate it. Kind of bothered him, he was saying, all year at St. Mary's. So we'll just have to see kind of day by day with him.
And given the circumstances, how do you think Elijah did?
Yeah, I thought he threw the ball really well, man. I thought he threw the ball really well. It's a repeatable delivery and throw strikes and pretty good stuff, and we're lucky to have him this summer. He's going to do well at Duke.
And with a surprise injury like that, if it changes the game plan, how does it?
Well, we're okay. You know, we had kind of planned on going to Kevin Keller in the 5th or 6th inning, so we're kind of right on track with what we were going to do tonight anyway.
Well, thanks, Skip. Back to you guys.
You bet.
Our first live hit of the season from our man Eliav goodbye. A lot of injury news there with Kevin Milam, and understandable and a very gracious thing to do for Kelly Nicholson to speak to Eliav goodbye. Obviously, with the way this game has been going so far, it'd be easy to not do the interview, but Skip always great to work with, and it's a true honor to have him as the Firebird managers. We're back out and ready to start the top of the 5th inning, and leading off for Cotuit will be the number 2 hitter, Will Robertson, the first baseman. And the left-handed batter will look at ball 2 low, and he's ahead in the count 2-0. Robertson from Creighton University, Loose Creek, Missouri native, 6'2", 210, a rising freshman, and swinging and missing at a pitch there from Kevin Kelly, the young man from James Madison. Kelly on the mound for the Firebirds, working his second inning of relief, and that pitch fouled off behind the Cotuit dugout, and the count equals up 2 balls and 2 strikes. 6 runs on 5 hits for Cotuit. Perhaps put an asterisk next to that, but it does count on the scoreboard. 2 runs and 2 hits for Orleans right now. Kelly delivers the 2-2 pitch. It's popped up straight away right behind second base. It's playable, and the catch is made by the shortstop Martinez for out number 1. So Robertson, who hit a homer in his first at-bat, now drops to 1 for 3 on the night. It'll bring up Thomas Dillard, the Ole Miss Rebel, and what a year the Rebels had under manager Mike Bianco from Oxford, Mississippi.
50-50 raffle.
Hotty toddy is the saying down south in Mississippi, in Oxford, and there's a swing and a miss. Falling down to an E is Dillard for strike 1. Interesting story for him. He grew up in Tennessee and then moved to Oxford, a great college town, his senior year of high school to attend Oxford High. A year later, he was Mr. Baseball in the state. The shift was on. It's going to be fielded by the third baseman Steer on the left side of the infield, over to Logan White in time for out number 2. And a good start to the inning for Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, and a great job by Kelly out of the pen. Obviously, we talked about how the misfortune so far for Orleans and not much they can do about it. Just what we believe is poor umpiring from Sam Finn behind the dish. Not much you can do about it. If you're Orleans, you got to just move on at this point and just rebound, throw up some zeros on the scoreboard, and try and get some runs into your column.
Kelly certainly looking comfortable so far, and like you said, there's nothing you can do about it. They just got to move on and try to win every single pitch. That's lined up the middle. Playing up the middle was Martinez. Bobbled the ball momentarily, but sticks with it and makes the throw in time to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Kettleers here in the 5th inning. On to the home half of the 5th. It'll be Free, Steer, and Yovan, 2 up for the Birds. You're listening and watching Orleans Firebird Baseball on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Back here at beautiful Eldridge Park, Braden Bell, Josh White on the call here. Home half of the fifth inning where the Firebirds trail Cotuit 6-2. It'll be the catcher James Free swinging and fouling the first ball off to start the inning for Orleans. Free is 0 for 1. Flew out to center field in his first at-bat. Still looking for his first hit of the Cape Cod League season and checking his swing for strike number 2. Chevalier, the starter for Cotuit, looked and has looked pretty strong out there for the Kettleers. Back up the middle, it's the first base hit of the summer for James Free the second. On a laced ground ball straight up the middle, right back where it came from. And the Birds have a leadoff batter aboard to begin the fifth.
That feels like the 10th hard hit ball by James Free this summer, but only translating to his first hit here. But exactly what they needed. They got the man of the hour at the dish in Spencer Steer. 1 at bat in the Orleans Red, 1 home run. We'll see if he can do it again.
Batting 1,000 with the home run. Not too shabby way to start off your Firebird career, if you will, as he looks at strike one on the outside part of the plate. Long Beach, California native, said it's a much different environment out here in Cape Cod than the West Coast. I can relate to that as he pops that ball up behind first base, ranging over in foul ground and making the catch right by the line is the right fielder Burdick for out number 1. So a pop fly to right field, caught in foul ground right in front of that line that marks out a play for out number 1.
Yeah, obviously not what Spencer Steer tried doing there. Maybe a little too aggressive in that AB, trying to do a little too much, but here's the next Oregon Duck trying to move the line for the Birds.
The Quack Pack made their way into Orleans. The Oregon Ducks from the Conference of Champions, the Pac-12. And Kenyon Yovan will be like Kevin Milam in that he can hit and pitch, both very good at doing each task, which is a rare art nowadays in the game of baseball as he fouls that pitch off out of play towards the right side. The hill, by the way, here at Eldridge has filled up very nicely on the first Saturday night of the season. If you aren't here yet, where are you? Come out next time. The Birds won't be home tomorrow. We have a doubleheader in Wareham. Coverage begins at 3:45 p.m. with Bird Talk pregame show, and then 2 7-inning games between the Gatemen and the Firebirds. Wareham 4-0 on the night or on the season so far, as that pitch fouled off into the Orleans dugout, and the count's still 0-2.
And if you can't make it to Eldridge Park, or you can't make it to any of the other 9 baseball stadiums here on Cape Cod, you can always catch the action. I beg your pardon, on the Mixler app, and when we're at home, you can catch it on YouTube Live as well.
Either way, we've got you covered with audio or video when the Birds are at home. See whether or not Yovan can battle through an 0-2 deficit, and he swings and misses through a breaking ball. And Chevalier has looked strong for Cotuit, and he has 2 outs now in the 5th.
And Chevalier just cruising out there on the mound, really just made 1 mistake pitch all night long. Has held the Firebirds to just 4 base runners here with 2 down in the 5th. And if Orleans going to try and rally back after that questionable call, they got to get going here.
So the number 9 hole hitter, Ricky Martinez, the shortstop, who swings and misses over the top of a fastball for strike number 1. 2 away in the 5th. James Free led off this inning with a single right back up the middle, but it's been a fly out and a strikeout to follow that. Martinez fouls it off, and he's quickly behind 0-2 in the counts.
And if you're Orleans, that's just a huge morale killer in this ball game. And talking about an offense that's been a little stagnant in the early going. They broke out with a 2-run shot in the early innings of this game, and now the life just kind of gets sucked out.
Without a doubt, and it's a tough thing to try to overcome. And it's hard because you can't really blame it on anyone but the umpire. The 0-2 pitch, ground ball, fielded by the third baseman Wise, over to first base in time for out number 3. So 1 base hit for the Firebirds in the 5th, but they can't do anything with it. And after 5 complete innings here in beautiful Orleans, Massachusetts, the score, Cotuit 6, Orleans 2 on the Firebird Broadcast Network. Welcome back. Time for the top of the 6th inning as Kevin Kelly, the James Madison Duke Dog, back out there on the mound for Orleans. 6-2 the score, and we'll give you scores from around the Cape right now. Brewster on top of Bourne 6-1. They are final in Brewster. Also another final score, Falmouth shutting out YD 8-0. Tomorrow's opponent, Wareham, they are undefeated right now, but that is in massive jeopardy. They trailed Harwich 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning at White House Field in Harwich. And then the other game going on right now on Cape Cod, Chatham leading Hyannis 8-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. First pitch of the inning, bouncing ball fielded by Steer. A fine play in time over to first base. And the defensive prowess of Spencer Steer. He did it with the bat and his first AB as a Firebird, and now with the glove for out number 1.
It'll be a treat to see Spencer Steer, Justin Levy, even maybe Jack Scroshans, Carter Aldretti, throw them in the mix as well. All man the hot corner this season, all fantastic over there at third base. Plenty of depth on this Firebird roster over there at third.
So Corey Wood will dig in, the second baseman for Katsuit, 0 for 1, walked and came around to score his last AB. Kelly delivers the first pitch outside, ball 1, as something we've noticed early on in this season, a lot of high-scoring affairs in this league. Pitching always rules supreme, but not quite the case here early on, at least in 2018. I'm sure the numbers will come back around. There's a reason why that is the case. The wood bat adjustment as well, and also just so many good pitchers in this league. The 2-0 pitch is in there. Catches the outside part of the plate. It's now 2 balls and 1 strike, and it's our first beautiful sunset of the season here at Eldridge Park. As Vin Scully would say, cotton candy skies here in Orleans, as that pitch is fouled off back to the net. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes, but the absolute perfect evening for baseball. It was 74 degrees at first pitch. The flag out in center field, hardly moving at all. It'll get a bit chillier now that the sun is setting, but still nothing to complain about. Here comes the 2-2 from Kelly. Breaking ball, fouled off, and Wood is still alive. The 2-2 count.
Kevin Kelly doing a fantastic job out of the bullpen for the Firebirds. Elijah Herrick just the same way, just that unfortunate break on the breaker that was hit foul but called fair.
And I mean, I think it's safe to say that. And we've had multiple people come up to us at the broadcast table here at Eldridge Park and say the same thing. I mean, it really was just a botched call, and we hate to normally say that, but it certainly was evident from our vantage points. The entire Orleans dugout was shocked, as well as every fan in attendance, no matter whether you're rooting for the Kettleers or Firebirds, and it's just a shame to see that kind of a call that can impact a game like that, a grand slam that changed the outlook of this game completely. Here comes the 2-2 delivery from Kelly. It's going to be popped up and fouled over the road down the left field line, and the count remains 2-2.
Braden, obviously you never know what's going to happen in that AB. That ball goes foul. There's 2 strikes on the hitter, but Elijah Herrick had his breaking ball working, so for all you know, he drops a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, strike 3, and we're tied at 2 here in the 6th.
Instead, it's 6-2. On 5 hits for the Kettleers, only 3 for Orleans. Here comes the 2-2 once again, and the same result. Another baseball into the forest area down the left field line. Corey Wood, the second baseman, walked his last at bat and battling here against Kevin Kelly, who's making his second appearance of the summer for Orleans. One more time, the 2-2 pitch. He got him looking. The upper part of the strike zone. Wood goes down looking for out number 2 of the 6th. A fine pitch that time from Kevin Kelly, getting the talented Wood. And now it'll be Bo Brundage batting for Katsuit, the Portland Pilot. Brundage, a baseball family. As he squares that baseball up, it's going to drop in front of Frazier out there in right field. So attacking on the first pitch of the at-bat, and it drops in front of Frazier for a 2-out single.
And Braden, I don't think words could describe how picturesque this view is here at Eldridge Park. Just the sun setting behind in the distance out there, way out there in center field as we talk about. And just a gorgeous night for baseball. Obviously, we would love for the game to be competitive at the moment. Just things out of the control of the hands of the Orleans Firebirds with certain things transpiring on the field.
And you mentioned the sky and how beautiful it is, and it's almost just fitting. There was a flock of birds that were just flying out in right field. It's almost too good to be true. It looks like a postcard setting, baseball heaven, if you will, here at Eldridge Park. Obviously, normally voted one of the best ballparks in the Cape, Eldridge Park, and nights like tonight prove why that is the case. 0-1 the count. Kelly delivers and gets Wise, the third baseman, a swing and miss. So it's quickly 0-2. Keaton Wise reached both times so far on the evening. Singled in the third. Was hit by a pitch in the fourth. The 0-2 pitch runs low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We already told you about his wild ride to end up at Coastal Carolina, playing at Auburn, and had just 11 plate appearances before deciding Auburn was not the place for him. Perhaps that was partially one of the reasons, was because he only got 11 plate appearances as he looks at ball too low. So here comes the 2-2 pitch from Kevin Kelly. Top of the 6th inning as Brundage stands at first base for Katuitt. The 2-2. Bouncing ball, fielded by Martinez on the hop, flips it over to Aldretti at second base on the bag for out number 3. 1 base hit for the Kettleers. They can't do anything with it. It's 6-2. We will head to the home half of the 6th inning coming up next, where the Firebirds will look to make a rally here on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Time for the bottom of the 6th inning here in Orleans. 6-2 the score. Katuitt over the Firebirds. Braden Bell, Josh White on the call here on a Saturday night. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be in Wareham, just off the Cape, about as far of a trip as we can have. The Western Division Gatemen of Wareham, and there's a strike in the leadoff batter, that is, for the Firebirds, Brandon White, who is 0 for 2 so far, and bouncing that ball foul, so it's quickly 0-2. And how about the outing so far for Chevalier, the starting pitcher from Northern State University, a D2 college in South Dakota. So yeah, folks, Northern State in South Dakota is where Chevalier calls home, and he delivers the 0-2 pitch. It's going to be fouled off. And a nice souvenir for a fan over there on the hill.
It's the northern part of the state of South Dakota.
Really makes sense in theory. It could be worse, I suppose. Northern South Dakota would be very confusing. The 0-2 pitch runs high, and it is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we mentioned the crowd, and they have filled in nicely. Game number 2 at home for the Firebirds. The 1-2 also high, and Brandon White able to lay off that pitch, that is. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll see if the top of the order can get something going for Orleans here. Trailing by 4. The difference in this game right now, the grand slam, I guess we'll call it a grand slam, by Oviedo. Popped up, foul ground. Giving chase is Robertson. Unable to make the catch, out of play. And it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And yeah, you talk about what is called a grand slam, very controversial call in this ball game, and at the moment, that's the difference of this game. It would be 2-2 here in the bottom of the sixth, and the Orleans Firebirds would be pretty confident.
But instead, it's going to have to be a late rally as Brandon White's trying to do something about that. It is a base hit to left field. Drops in front of Dillard, and it is a leadoff single to start the sixth. And it's going to have to be baby steps, just like we were saying last night in Bourne. And a good way to get things going for the Firebirds. It's Brandon White with a bloop single to left. And now it'll be Matt Frazier, the Arizona Wildcat, who is also 0 for 2. That'll step in for the Birds.
We've yet to see Brandon White try and take off just yet and steal a base. And he's got practically infinite speed over there at first base. So anytime you get him on base, single, a walk, a hit by pitch could potentially turn into a double, if you will, very quickly.
Not going on the first pitch of this AB as Matt Frazier looks at a strike on the outside half. Frazier, another guy that the Birds are waiting to get going. He hits a bouncing ball to shortstop. They'll go to second base in time, trying to turn it. They won't because of the speed of Frazier, but they do get White the lead runner for the first out of the sixth inning. A 6-4 fielder's choice. And Frazier now will trade spots with White and stand at first base.
A very tough turn with the speed of White going from first to second and the speed of Frazier out of the box. And Frazier beats it out by a couple of steps. And again, not out of the ball game just yet. 4-run game, obviously you would love for that foul ball turned grand slam off the board, but far from over in the game of baseball.
Jax Groshans, 364 entering tonight. 0 for 2 so far, has grounded out to third base and also second base in his first 2 plate appearances. And he would have had the best look of anyone out there in left field on that botched call by home plate umpire Sam Finn. Throw over to first base, and in safely is Frazier with a head-first slide. And I really do hate that we keep bringing that up, but it was just a huge call. A game-changing call early on in the game, but not just a strikeout or a ball 4. That was a grand slam that changed the outlook of everything. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Instead, they're actually going to throw over, and Frazier's safely once again.
Britton, I think if this were a blowout and Katuitt were leading 12-2, no one would say another word, and that would be the end of it because they would still win the game. Or if Orleans was blowing them out and they still won by plenty, no one would bat an eye. But at this point, that's the difference in the ballgame.
Groshans, a blooper, and Frazier barely able to get back in safely. It was a blooper to the second baseman. Frazier got a good secondary lead, so it was very close to being a double play, but luckily for the Firebirds, it is just 1 out as Groshans now 0 for 3 on the evening. And that'll bring up Logan Wyatt, who walked his last at-bat, who will try to do something here with 2 away to continue the threat for the Firebirds. First pitch swinging off the glove of the pitcher. It's going to be a tough play. The throw on a bare hand, not in time. Wyatt reaches safely. It's an infield single for the Firebird first baseman, and they're now 2 aboard with 2 away.
That's exactly what Orleans need. They catch a break for the first time tonight, and really when you look at it, it bounced off the glove of the pitcher, Chevalier, and rare to see that, and we're going to get a pitching change, and Mike Roberts going to pull Chevalier with not the tying run at the plate just yet, but Mike Roberts trying to extinguish the fire before it gets out of hand.
It'll be Carter Aldretti, a very dangerous hitter in this Firebird lineup, 2 up. We'll introduce you to the new pitcher for the Kettleers coming up next. It's 6-2 Katuitt. But the Birds have 2 runners aboard here on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Whole bunch of changes here at Eldridge Park as we welcome you back. Thanks for spending your Saturday night with us here on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. So Eric Jones, who was catching for Katuitt, moves to third base. That draws the Adelaide for Keaton Wise, the third baseman, and that will mean a new catcher is in there for Katuitt, and that'll be Zach Humphreys behind the dish. Young man from TCU, and the new pitcher on the mound for Katuitt is Deacon Metters.
And Metters out of Alabama has pitched once this season already for the Kettleers. 4 innings save for Metters, did not allow an earned run. Did give up 1 to Cross, but struck out 3 to no walks. So big throwing right-hander from Alabama. So SEC baseball, pretty much the pride of that conference, along with football.
He's thrown 4 innings so far this young season for Katuitt. A very tall, lanky kid delivers outside for ball 1, and it's Carter Aldretti, the batter for Orleans, with a chance to try to get the Birds back in this game. Big spot here, bottom of the 6th inning, 2 outs. 2 runners aboard. Metters comes set, looks Frazier back and delivers, and Aldretti looks at ball 2 inside. Nearly got him on the hands that time, but instead just ball 2. James Free the second stands on deck, the big left-handed hitting catcher for Orleans. But the batter right now is Carter Aldretti, who doubled off the fence at his first at-bat and will swing away, bouncing ball to the third baseman, and it's Jones, who was catching and is now playing third and gets the job done, and the inning is over. Frustration for the Birds so far here tonight at Eldridge Park. Josh White will take over play-by-play duties once again as we head to the 7th inning in a 6-2 game. You're listening to Firebirds Baseball on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network.
It'll be 9-1-2 for the Katuitt Kettleers. Adam Oviedo, Peyton Burdick, and Will Robertson set to face Kevin Kelly to start the top of the 7th inning, who's still throwing out of the bullpen for the Firebirds. It's Katuitt 6 and the Firebirds 2. Josh right alongside Braden Bell here for the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Oviedo 1 for 2 tonight. Obviously, he is not quite public enemy number 1. That's really the home plate umpire, Sam Finn. But Oviedo might be number 2, who had the questionable grand slam. First pitch swinging. Diving grab by Ricky Martinez. And that kicked off his glove and carried into the outfield. And that's another base hit for Adam Oviedo.
Calling with your heart that time, Josh. You thought he caught it. He almost did. We saw some good hops from Ricky Martinez that time. But a good call. Oviedo, public enemy number 2 tonight, if you're an Orleans Firebirds fan.
So now it'll be the top of the order for the Kettleers. And Peyton Burdick, who's 0 for 2 tonight, did reach on the first pitch of this ballgame. Squaring around, bunts it, pops it up. That'll kick down the first base line, gloved by the first baseman Wyatt, who applies the tag. And Burdick goes spiraling out of play, but it's a 3 unassisted on the sacrifice bunt for Burdick.
Wild play. He fell to the ground like he had been shoved by Wyatt. Of course, that wasn't the case. Not really sure what happened there, but it is a successful sacrifice. So the Kettleers have a runner in scoring position.
We have a substitution over there at shortstop. It's Quincy McAfee in there for Ricky Martinez. So McAfee unable to make the grab on the that line drive single for Oviedo, and now Kelly going to step off the rubber as temperature has dropped down a bit here at Eldridge Park. Kelly trying to keep himself warm, blowing into his right hand. Oviedo leads off second. The first pitch to the batter Robertson in there for a strike. Robertson 1 for 3 tonight, had a 2-run blast in the third inning. So just 2 home runs, if you will, for the Kettleers, the difference in this ballgame. And all the runs tonight being scored with the long ball for both sides. Kelly working out there on the mound, 2 2/3 into this appearance for the Firebirds, facing his 11th batter tonight for the Kettleers. Runner on second base with 1 down. The 0-1 pitch from Kelly. The sidewinder kicks and fires the 0-1 pitch. Fastball past the bat of Robertson, and that'll make it 0-2.
Kevin Kelly's been very impressive so far here tonight. It wasn't easy to come in the spot he did right after that controversial call, but he's controlled his emotions and done a good job.
0-2 pitch from Kelly. A fastball that misses outside, and that'll make it 1-2. Robertson with 2 of the 6 runs batted in tonight for the Kettleers. The other 4 off the bat of Adam Oviedo, who stands at second base. Kelly steps off the rubber and calls time, and this game wearing on as Firebirds on the short end of some bad luck tonight. Sam Finn is not very liked right now in Orleans.
I don't know if he'd be served at Cook's or any of the local restaurants at Orleans.
The 1-2 pitch from Kelly. Backdoor breaking ball that Robertson looks at for strike number 3. So Kevin Kelly doing a nice job out of the bullpen for Kelly Nicholson. But the second out of the top of the 7th. The Firebirds still trailing, however, 6-2. So now Thomas Dillard will dig in from the left side. Dillard 1 for 3 tonight, singled back in the first. First pitch from Kelly, a breaking ball that misses outside for ball 1. And it does not appear that Mike Roberts a big fan of Sam Finn either with that strikeout call on Will Robertson. Big lead off second base for Oviedo. Kelly kicks and fires the 1-0 pitch, a fastball that misses outside, and that'll make it 2-0.
Just got to keep pounding the strike zone. That's the name of the game. When you're down by 4 runs, you can't afford to walk anyone, give the Kettleers any free bases. You just got to attack the strike zone. You really got nothing to lose down by 4.
2-0 pitch from Kelly, lifted out to center field. White's got it lined up. Now takes a couple more steps to his right and makes the grab for the final out of the frame. So Katuitt picks up a leadoff base hit, but they can't do anything with that. And Kevin Kelly does a nice job out of the bullpen for the Firebirds. We've reached stretch time here at Eldridge Park. It's Katuitt 6 and Orleans 2. You're listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. We've reached stretch time here at Eldridge Park. It's Katuitt 6 and Orleans 2. Alongside Braden Bell, I'm Josh White here for the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 for the Firebirds. James Free the second. Spencer Steer and Kenyon Jovan set to face Deacon Metters, who's back out there. As we look across the league here, it's Brewster on top of Bourne, 6-1. That game has gone final. Falmouth ahead of YD, also final. The Commodores coming out on top 8-0. The Wareham Gatemen have dropped their first game of the 2018 Cape Cod League season. Harwich coming out on top 2-0. And in Chatham, it's the Anglers leading the Harbor Hawks 10-1 in the bottom of the 5th. But here at Eldridge Park, it's the Kettleers leading the Firebirds, and the first pitch to Free misses outside for ball 1. Free 1 for 2 today, picked up his first hit as an Orleans Firebird. The 1-0 pitch cuffs Free a little bit as he flies this one out to left field. Dillard ranging back and makes the grab for the first out of the frame. So now Spencer Steer, who has the lone RBIs tonight for the Firebirds, will brush off some of the dirt in that right-handed batter's box and get set and take his stance. Steer with a open stance, very reminiscent of Josh Donaldson in that 2-run home run that he had in his first AB. We thought was going to be a big blast in this ball game, but a questionable call from the umpire has really changed the complexion of this game.
I don't know if we're going to keep calling it questionable. I think it's just botched.
The 0-1 pitch to Steer, lifted out to left field, and once again Dillard up to the task and makes the grab. So back-to-back flyouts to the left fielder, Thomas Dillard. There's 2 up and 2 down here to start the bottom of the 7th. And it seems like that's the general consensus here at Eldridge Park on both sides, not just Firebird fans, not just Kettleer fans. You can get an impartial third party, and they would tell you just the same. And that call seemed to, that fly ball hit by Adam Oviedo, looked like it missed the foul pole down there in left field by about 4 to 5 feet easily. First pitch to Kenyon Yovan, who's still looking for his first hit as an Orleans Firebird. Catches the inside part of the strike zone for strike 1. Deacon Metters out there through an inning of work out of the bullpen for Mike Roberts. The 0-1 pitch to Yovan misses low, and that will even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Hill has emptied out a little bit here at Eldridge Park, but the fans, well, the numbers might be less, can be heard just the same. 1-1 pitch to Yovan, a breaking ball that catches the outside part of the plate. And that'll make it 1-2. You have the Firebirds chorus who performed this past inning. It appears that they've started a rallying cry behind the Orleans dugout down that first base line. The 1-2 pitch to Yovan. Fastball on the outside corner, ring him up, strike 3. And Yovan goes down without a fight here in the 7th. Metters retires Orleans in order here in the bottom of the 7th. We'll head to the top of the 8th. It's Katu at 6 and Orleans 2. You're listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. New pitcher into the ball game for the Orleans Firebirds. It is the right-hander out of Georgia, Zach Christofak. And he will replace Kevin Kelly, who did a tremendous job for Orleans out of the pen. However, the Katuitt Kettleers lead the Firebirds 6-2 in the 8th inning. We'll give you the final line on Kelly. He went 3 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. So he did a fantastic job for the Orleans Firebirds, and he was a temp player on the mound, and we've talked a lot about those temporary guys, and Zach Christofak did a nice job in his first appearance, and he'll make appearance number 2.
The Georgia Bulldog, 5'9", 178 from Marietta, Georgia. And don't let his small stature fool you. He throws gas, mid-90s, sometimes touching into the upper 90s on the mound for the Firebirds. At his first appearance with 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run allowed. It was not earned, however, and 1 walk and 1 strikeout. Just in to try to hold the deficit where it lies right now at 4. We'll see what Zach can do here in this inning for Orleans.
It will be 4, 5, and 6 for Katuitt. Zach Bierman, Eric Jones, and Corey Wood. Christopher, not the tallest guy in terms of stature, but he plays with a ton of heart and pumps that fastball about as hard as anyone. Bierman digs in from the left side. He's 0 for 3 tonight. First pitch from Christopher to him. Fastball fouled back onto the highway behind our heads, and that'll make it 0-1. Very dangerous place to drive your car during a baseball game.
Yeah, it really is.
Never know when a foul ball is going to pop on the route right here. Christopher comes set on the rubber, kicks and fires the 0-1 pitch, a fastball that catches the outside part of the plate. That'll make it 0-2. And like you mentioned, Braden is a guy that'll throw mid to upper 90s, can get upwards of 97 on occasion, but for a guy that just stands at 5'9", he really pumps the gas. 0-2 pitch from the right-hander. Fastball well upstairs, and that'll make it 1-2, but a tough pitch to lay off for the batter, Zach Bierman. Bierman 0 for 3 today, the DH for the Cavaliers. Flew out to center in the first, and back-to-back groundouts to the shortstop at the time, Ricky Martinez, in the 4th and the 5th. 1-2 pitch from Christopher. Breaking ball waved out and missed strike 3, and Christopher gets Bierman swinging for the first out of the top of the 8th.
Nothing harder than a hitter having to face mid-90s fastballs and then a nasty slider, which we saw right there from Christopher. To get Bierman, couldn't really stand facing Christopher there. You could tell just in the mannerisms. Walking back to the dugout, he was almost relieved to have that at-bat end.
So Eric Jones, who started the day behind the dish for the Cavaliers, moved to the third base spot. Will dig in from the right side for the 4th time tonight. First pitch to him misses low and inside for ball 1. Jones reached in one of 3 plate appearances tonight. A walk, but was then thrown out by James Free the second, trying to steal for second base. 1-0 pitch from Christopher here. A fastball that paints the inside corner, and that will make it 1 ball and 1 strike. It seems that every call, however, that might be a little borderline here or there, seems to have gone Orleans' way since that questionable grand
I wonder
slam.
why. The old makeup call factor, perhaps. I don't know. Is that really a thing? Do we think that's a thing?
There's some human factor in the game of baseball for sure.
I think it's a thing. Just natural guilt, perhaps.
The 1-1 pitch from Christopher, a breaking ball that misses outside, and that'll make it 2-1. You also talk about how professional Kelly Nicholson is. He's always preaching, be professional, no matter whether it's to his players, to his interns. And you heard what he had to say to Eliav goodbye, and obviously he was frustrated, didn't want to speak too much about it, as this one's hit back up the middle, and that splits McAfee and Aldretti and goes into center field. And that's a 1-out base hit for Eric Jones, but and obviously it's a frustrating play, no matter whether you're a coach, a player, a fan of the Orleans Firebirds on that grand slam back in the 4th.
Yeah, I mean, this is about the 18th time we've talked about it. Rightfully so, because it changed the game. We'd be looking at a tie ball game right now if it wasn't for that call. But, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, it's a long season. But tonight will definitely be remembered because of that call, unless the Birds can rally.
First pitch from the right-hander to the batter. Wood misses outside for a ball 1. Wood 0 for 2 tonight. Did reach base with a walk in the 4th and came around to score on that grand slam from Oviedo. Obviously, very early in the season here, the 1-0 pitch from Christopher on the outside corner. That'll make it 1-1. So there's no must-win games just about yet. Obviously, this is a little more demoralizing than the other 2 that have happened already for the Firebirds if the score were to remain the same. Runner leads off first base. Christopher comes out on the rubber. Kicks and fires the 1-1 pitch, a fastball that misses outside, and that'll make it 2-1. But you talk about the momentum Orleans kind of felt offensively in the early innings of this ball game, and that kind of erased after that questionable call. Runner leads off first. The 2-1 pitch. Slow roller to the third base side of the rubber. Christopher gets off there. Bounces the ball past wide, and that one skips against the fence down the right field line. Jones ranging for third. He's coming to the plate. The throw to the plate. James Freya applies a tag, and he's out on the throw from the right fielder, Matt Frazier. A very questionable call by Mike Roberts trying to send Eric Jones all the way from first base.
It was questionable, but the reason why he was thrown out is I think Eric Jones was surprised that he was in that position. Let up a bit as he touched third base. That allowed the run to score. They're going to go ahead and call that an error on the pitcher, Christofak, on the throw. So it's an E1 that allows Wood to reach second base. But more importantly for the Firebirds than that is the fact that they threw out Jones trying to score.
So there's 2 down here in the top of the 8th. Katuitt still leads Orleans 6-2. The runner on second base is now Corey Wood. The batter in the box is Bo Brundage. First pitch to him misses outside for ball 1. Brundage 2 for 3 tonight. Singled in the 4th, singled in the 6th. He did score on that grand slam that we've been talking a lot about tonight by Adam Oviedo.
Put an asterisk by that total. Zach Christofak warming up in the Orleans bullpen, by the way. The big right-hander looks like he might be throwing the next inning in the Orleans pitching staff.
You mean Shea Smitty?
Is that Smitty out there? I see.
Christofak is on the mound.
I'm sorry. I mean,
it has
Aaron
been a weird day.
Oceanbine.
Okay.
I apologize, is out there. I was looking at Christofak. It's easy to confuse those two guys. They're similar in stature, of course.
They very are, about 6-inch difference.
Yeah,
it's like if you confuse Braden and I.
Pretty much. That's a pretty accurate representation of what I just did there. I'm sorry, folks. But like, home plate umpire Sam Finn, we all make mistakes.
Katuitt leads Orleans with 2 down here in the top of the 8th. Runner on second base with Brundage at the dish. 2-1 pitch from Christofak. Hard roller to the right side. Gloved by the second baseman Aldretti, who tosses to White at first in time. So a couple of base runners for the Katuitt Cavaliers here in the 8th, but nothing doing. We'll head to the bottom half of the 8th. Orleans looking for a rally. It's Katuitt 6 and the Firebirds 2. You're listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 8th we go here at Eldridge Park. It's Katuitt 6 and Orleans 2. Josh White alongside Braden Bell here for the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Firebirds. Quincy McAfee, Brandon White, and Matt Frazier set to face Deacon Metters, who came into the ball game and has done a nice job for Katuitt. And Braden, you talk about just the wackiness of this ball game, and there could be a little more wackiness here at Eldridge Park, and I think Orleans would like that if they could score 4 runs.
If it goes the Firebirds' way, they'd most definitely take it, but it really has been just an odd game. It all started at the beginning where there was a hit by pitch on the first pitch of the game. Then pitch number 2 was a double play. Then, of course, you had the grand slam, or not so much of a grand slam call. That's the biggest glaring odd event that's taken place in this game, but it's just one of those weird Saturday nights. We don't even have a full moon, but yet something is in the water here tonight at Eldridge Park, causing all sorts of wacky things to happen. And you always hear you can see something at a baseball game that you've never seen before. There's been quite a few things tonight that's been very odd.
First pitch to McAfee, who's in there for his first AB of the night. That's in there for a strike. Quincy McAfee, the shortstop at the moment for the Firebirds, heading to Pepperdine in the fall. Takes the 0-1 pitch, grounds it to the third base side. Gloved by Eric Jones, who's over there now. tosses on to first in plenty of time for the first out of the inning.
Give the Kettleers a lot of credit, though, because their pitching staff has handled the night extremely well. Of course, it all started out with Chevalier, who threw 5 2/3 of very excellent baseball besides that one blemish, and then it's been Metters who's come in, the Alabama Crimson Tider, who's done a good job.
First pitch to Brandon White, a hard fastball off the mask of the catcher, Zach Humphreys, and he appears to be okay as that misses upstairs for ball one. Brandon White 1 for 3 today, singled back in the 6th. Now Zach Humphreys going to come out and talk to the pitcher Metters and just try and get on the same page as he was not ready for that heater.
Yeah, that was definitely a mix-up there as he crossed up the catcher, and a painful way to do it. Getting hit right in the mask on a heater from a big guy. I mean, Metters is not small at all. He is 6'4", 200 pounds, so he packs a punch when he throws the gas, and went right to the mask of the catcher there, Humphreys.
Brandon White could lay down a bunt, just went over to the dugout to potentially talk some strategy. First pitch swing, or a one-pitch swing, grounds another one to the third baseman Jones. Throw across to Roberts in time once again. So back-to-back 5-3 putouts here to start the bottom of the 8th.
And I know it's easy to say that one call changed the whole game, and perhaps it did, but, you know, a lot of the blame has to go to the offense of the Firebirds. It's been pretty quiet throughout the start of the season and continued into tonight. Besides that one home run from Spencer Steer, the offense has struggled to put together any sort of rally as this game's gone on, and you obviously can't win games in this league without putting up some offensive rallies. You can't just rely on the home run ball, and that's been the only way Orleans has really been able to do anything tonight and all season long so far.
The 0-1 pitch to Frazier in there for a strike, and he's behind 0-2. Frazier 0 for 3 tonight, has struggled so far this season, just 2 for his first 14. 0-2 pitch to Frazier, curveball that he just fouls off up the first base line near the first base coaching box, and we'll go to our annual game shout-out for Ryan Erickson as he picks up that baseball and tosses it back to the Orleans dugout.
I'll give some love to Chris Constantine, third base coach over there. He deserves some love. Talked to him pre-game. Such a nice guy. We're blessed with a great coaching staff here in Orleans.
The 0-2 pitch to Frazier, nasty breaking ball on the outside corner, and Frazier goes down looking for the final out of the 8th. Well, it's at the top of the 9th. It's Cotuit at 6, and Orleans 2. You're listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Top of the 9th we go here at Eldridge Park. It's Cotuit at 6 and Orleans 2. Josh White alongside Braden Bell here for the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. It'll be 8-9 and 1 for the Cotuit Kettleers. Zach Humphreys, Adam Oviedo, and Peyton Burdick set to face Zach Christofak. Did a nice job relieving Kevin Kelly, who ran into a little bit of trouble in that inning. And Christofak, the hard-throwing right-hander, not too big out there on the mound, but an intimidating guy to face. Bumping that fastball, has dropped in a couple nice breaking balls so far tonight as well. And Braden, we've been talking about it a lot the first few games this season, about that temporary player type aspect. First pitch from Christofak here in there for a strike to Humphreys. And talk about kind of each outing is an audition. And the Orleans Firebirds up to 29, or I beg your pardon, 28 players at the moment active. You're only allowed 30 active at a time, so with a couple players on the cusp of being activated. The 0-1 pitch chopped to the left side, gloved by the third baseman Steer on the run. Throw down to first. Wyatt applies the tag for the first out of the inning. But the point I'm kind of getting at is when a couple more guys get activated, you're talking about 3 Vandy boys expected. You got Joey Lancelotti of UNC, Graham Stinson if he makes an appearance here before heading to Team USA. You got 5 guys and only 2 roster spots. There could be a couple transactions coming in the next few days.
Some tough decisions are going to have to be made because a lot of guys that are on temp contracts have done a good job for Orleans, but that's just the way this league is. It's very prestigious, and only the best of the best will remain. So it'll be some tough decisions, but it's got to be done.
So Adam Oviedo, who had the grand slam back in the 4th inning, takes his first pitch from Christofak outside for ball 1. Oviedo 2 for 3 today, had that grand slam like we mentioned, and a single in the 7th. 1-0 pitch from Christofak. Fastball popped up to shallow right field. Aldretti pointing it out to the right fielder, Frazier. And Frazier makes the grab with the one hand in right field for the second out of the inning.
Besides that grand slam, I mean, this Firebird bullpen, who had to pick up 8 innings of work after Milam was injured after just 1 inning, they've done a good job for the most part, besides the one blemish. And that's the difference in the game.
It's now Peyton Burdick, who is our bird watch before the ball game tonight. He's 0 for 2. Is quite a nice part of this Kettler offense, however. First pitch to him. Misses low and inside for ball 1. Burdick 0 for 2, but has been on base with a hit by pitch, then laid a gorgeous sacrifice bunt in the 7th. 1-0 pitch to Burdick. Fastball fouled back to the screen, and that'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And Braden, you talk about this Kettler offense tonight. It's just 2 home runs, and Orleans with 1 home run. It's been a game of long balls, and Orleans with 2, and I beg your pardon, the Kettleers with 2 long balls and Orleans with 1, and that's really the difference. 1-1 pitch to Burdick in there for a strike, and that'll make it 1-2.
Yeah, that's all it is, and that's kind of how the game of baseball is nowadays. It's all about the strikeout and the long ball, and it's been on full display tonight with a grand slam being the difference.
Christofak comes set on the ball, kicks and fires. 1-2 pitch, curveball chopped to the left side, gloved by the shortstop McAfee, who tosses over to Wyatt. So another 1-2-3 inning for the Orleans bullpen. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Firebirds. 6-2 in favor of Katuitt. You're listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Keep competing 1 pitch at a time. The words from the skipper, Kelly Nicholson, to his Orleans Firebirds as we begin the bottom of the 9th inning here at Eldridge Park. It's Katuitt 6 and Orleans 2. Josh White alongside Braden Bell here for the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. It'll be the heart of the order for the Orleans Firebirds. Jax Groshans, Logan Wyatt, and Carter Aldretti set to face Deacon Metters, who's come out of the bullpen and has been stupendous for Katuitt, looking to close this ball game out.
Well, it's going to take a lot to get things done here in the bottom of the 9th inning, but it's like you said yesterday in Bourne so eloquently, it's not over till it's over. Birds have 3 outs to play with, down by 4 runs. You never know what could happen.
Groshans 0 for 3 today. The Kansas product digs in from the right side. First pitch to the Orleans left fielder. Fastball that catches the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Groshans has been the leader on this Firebird squad so far this season. The lone returner at the moment in that first base dugout. The 0-1 pitch to Groshans. A high chopper to the left side, gloved by the third baseman Jones. Throws across the diamond in plenty of time. The Firebirds now down to their final 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth.
How about Jones, who started the night catching, got moved to third base a couple innings ago, and he's had plenty of action over there since being moved. Already 3 putouts recorded by Jones. He's handled his duties at the hot corner very nicely.
So now Logan Wyatt, our bird watch on the Orleans side, digs in from the left side. First pitch to him, catches the outside part of the zone for strike 1. Wyatt 1 for 2 today, singled in the first, also reached with a walk in the fourth. 0-1 pitch from Metters misses outside, and that will even up the count at 1-1 strike. Logan Wyatt going to be a staple in the heart of this Orleans lineup all summer long. Big powering lefty, takes a big hack and fans through a fastball from Metters, and that will make the count 1-2 strikes. Open stance here for Logan Wyatt as he rests the bat on his shoulder. 1-2 pitch to Wyatt, breaking ball that misses outside, and that will even up the count at 2-2 strikes.
Got to battle through this if you're Logan Wyatt. Like you said, he's going to be so important for this team.
2-2 pitch to Wyatt, fastball that runs up and away, and that will run the count full.
But he's reached
at
base.
3-2.
He's reached base. Sorry about that, Josh. He's reached base twice so far here tonight. He's looked comfortable at home, at least, for the Birds.
Payoff pitch to Wyatt, fastball that runs inside, ball 4, and for the third time tonight, Logan Wyatt has reached base, and the Birds have something chirping here in the bottom of the ninth.
Very nicely done with the Bird reference there, Josh. And yep, you got to have base runners if you're going to come back from a 4-run deficit. A walk is just as good as a hit in this point, and it'll be Carter Aldretti, not a bad guy to have up right now for the Firebirds.
Aldretti already 1 for 3 tonight and takes a behemoth of a hack and fans through the fastball for strike 1.
A wicked swing, as the locals would say here.
Tried looking like Tiger Woods with that swing speed. Aldretti doubled and came around to score on the steer home run. Ground ball hit to the shortstop, Oviedo, diving stop, tosses to Wood, on to first, a 6-4-3 double play, a wicked finish on a fantastic double play on the diving stop by Oviedo. So Oviedo, the thorn in Orleans side, hits a grand slam and then turns the inning-ending and game-ending double play. It's good 2 at 6, and Orleans 2 in the final here at Eldridge Park in a 2-hour and 6-minute contest that Orleans just could not catch a break. And for Orleans, they drop to 1-3, and Katuitt advances to 2-2. The winning pitcher for the Katuitt Kettleers is Luke Chevalier. He went 5 2/3 in a dream outing for him growing up as a Katuitt Kettleers fan. On the short stick for the Orleans Firebirds, it is Elijah Herrick out of Duke, who gave up 6 runs, all of them earned. A tough day for him after he got charged with those 2 long balls. But Spencer Steer, who had a nice day at the ballpark, his first game in the Orleans Red, went yard in his first AB. So we'll get a chance to talk to him as we keep things going here in the Orleans Firebirds post-game show. Listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Eldridge Park, where the final is Cotuit 6 and Orleans 2. Joining me now is Spencer Steer at a 2-run home run in his first at-bat as an Orleans Firebird. Spencer, what was it like? First AB on the Cape Cod League. What were you looking for in that AB?
Well, I mean, it was a runner in scoring position, so I was looking off speed. He threw me 2 before that, so I got a pretty good look at it. Seeing the third curveball in a row, and he kind of left it up and took a good swing on it, and good thing I didn't miss it.
Obviously a very wacky game here at Eldridge Park and your first one in the Orleans uniform, but you're the third baseman tonight. Ball down the left field line. What do you see on that play when you look around and how that ball kind of tails out of the yard here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we were on the wrong side of that call. A lot of us, strongly disagreed with what the home plate umpire called, but, that's baseball. You kind of just got to bounce back from that. And, I mean, it was still early at that point, so there's still a lot of game left to play. But, I mean, when stuff like that happens, you kind of just got to shake it off and, get to the next pitch and just kind of deal with it because those calls happen.
Seems like you model your game after another third baseman at the MLB level and Josh Donaldson, where the same numbers, similar batting stance. How have you grown up playing the game of baseball, and how has that all come through Oregon now on Cape Cod?
Yeah, I grew up in Southern California, so I kind of played baseball year-round, and I was lucky to grow up with, good weather all year round, so I was able to play. So, yeah, and I have older brothers, so I was able to play up levels. So, just, playing with good competition constantly and all year round just kind of helped form my game to what it is. And, yeah, and then the coaches at Oregon are awesome, helping me develop as a young player. So, and especially coming out to the Cape Cod and playing against this level of competition. So there's a lot of factors that have gone into how I am the baseball player I am today, but, thankful for all those opportunities.
So one last one before we let you go. Moving on to tomorrow, doubleheader, obviously. Put this wacky game behind us. Doubleheader on the road at Wareham. What do you guys need to do to bounce back and get right on track in the winning column?
Just go out and be aggressive, I think. I think there was some good pitches we let go. I certainly let a few good pitches go by early in the count. So, just come out, be aggressive. And, I mean, we're a good team. We're all talented baseball players here. So, I mean, if we all just come out and play our game, it'll probably go well for us. We hopefully could take 2 from tomorrow. So, we'll see how that goes.
Thanks for the time, Spencer. Congratulations on the home run. I'm sure tomorrow will go a different way. Hopefully some better calls in certain areas, and the luck will fall in certain places. Again, the final here at Eldridge Park, Cotuit 6, Orleans 2. For Braden Bell, I'm Josh White, and the rest of our crew here on the Orleans Fire.